going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to show you how to turn this into this. Alright guys, before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future content. Well, cleaned out the freezer and yeah, I got some work to do here. Alright guys, so a few things you're going to need. Kind of a Bunsen burner type thingy. I got this from Bass Pro Shops. Let's say it's around 40 bucks maybe. Same thing with the pot. I got this from Bass Pro Shops. But you want to have a really good sized pot. One of these burners. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to boil this skull until all that meat softens up. Yummy! That's it. So let's get started. Alright, so you want to make sure this thing's nice and thawed out and soft, because what you're going to do is you're going to start off by just cutting off the skin with a knife. And so I got a knife here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start in the mouth and the jaw and just slowly start getting it off the skull. And that's just less stuff you have to boil off. It'll make the whole process a lot better. So I'm just gonna start in the gums. And kind of go like that and just slowly work it off. So yeah, you just wanna slowly cut the skin off. Try not to hit the nose, the bones too bad, because you don't want to leave a bunch of scratch marks on it. You want it to look nice. All right, guys, and while I'm cleaning this, I'm gonna get this water boiling. Definitely put some salt in it. Salt's gonna help that water boil quicker. The salt got a little wet. Wife's gonna kill me for that. Let's turn it on. Get some gas going. There you go. I'm gonna take some foil. Alright, so just wanna wrap it up with that. That foil is gonna help keep the wind off the flame. If you guys are getting anything out of this video, go ahead and hit that like button for me. It helps me out a lot. Sharp knife helps. Okay, once you get behind the jawbone, you start cutting all that neck meat off, stuff like that. Just take your time. Just gonna make sure you get as much as you can off. Okay, so now I got a little bit of the neck meat still, a little bit of the spinal cord. That's fine, it's not that big of a deal, it'll boil right off. So I got the majority of the skin off. Now I'm just left with the skull and the face meat. Just put them in there. All right, he's all ready. Let's crank this thing up.
1 hour later.
All right, so we're gonna check that out. Been going for about an hour. All right, looking good. All right, so I'm gonna pull it out a little bit. Look at that, coming apart. It's like mom's beef stew, you know? You're gonna take it and just start pulling away meat. As you can see, this jawbone's pretty much done already. Everything just came right off. Teeth haven't even fallen out. I mean, that looks pretty good. Got a little bit of meat there. I mean, that one's pretty much done. I'll let it soak a little bit longer. So the hardest part is gonna be like the cartilage in the nose and stuff like that. You gotta pull the eyeball out. And lastly, we'll have to get the brains out. And I got a little technique for that. thing you can do is you can just pull this guy out. It's the nice thing about this strainer thing. Just gotta be careful because you can lose the teeth if you don't have one of these. Look at this, guy's still got gunk in his teeth. Looks like he lost a tooth, and it just started filling in with roots and all sorts of gunk. Look at that, that is cool. I mean, some people do the whole leave it in the ground or whatever, let ants do it. I mean, this thing's only been boiling for an hour and I'm already pretty much done. It's just way better than me. Cool thing is you can give all this meat to your dogs. I love it. All right, so for the brain stem, or brain, I take a little coat hanger and I'm gonna cut off a piece about like 6 inches in length, 7 inches in length. Alright, put it in your drill. And there you go. See how I got the little end bent like that? That's gonna give you a little swirling action in there. Got the brain down in there. I'm just gonna put it in there and start spinning. See, it starts to mush it up, turn it into like a paste, and then you're just gonna hose it out. Alright, so you just wanna hose out all the chunks. One important thing I forgot to mention to you guys, make sure it's completely out of the reach of your 3 dogs, because they will get a hold of it and chew it up. All right, so after you got most of the meat picked off, basically boiled as much as you can, got all the meat you could off, the next step is very important. You have to degrease these or else it'll turn out to look yellow and look like crap. This gets all the grease out of the bones. We're gonna use clear Dawn. All right, Dawn is the best stuff out there. It's the strongest. And you wanna make sure that it's clear because otherwise it'll stain your skull a little bit. Degreasing is very, very important. Do not skip this step. And you're gonna soak this thing. Now, I soak mine for like at least 2 weeks. Some people are crazy and do like 6 to 8 weeks. I'm gonna do a good 2-week soak. So I'm gonna put a bunch of Dawn in here, fill her up. I'm gonna let it soak for an entire week. I'm gonna change the water, and then I'm gonna fill it up and do it again for another week. Like I said, just put a pretty good amount. Don't be shy with it. Almost a half a tub. All right, that'll work. I'm gonna let this sit for a week. I'm gonna come back and change up the water. And remember, put it up somewhere high so your stupid dogs don't get to it. And we'll come back in a week and check it out.
1 week later.
This is a week after sitting, but you can see that like white stuff. That is fat that has basically exuded out of the skull. That's what you want. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and change this water, and we're gonna let it sit for another week in some clear Dawn. All right, guys, so after you have let your skull soak for a couple weeks, your next step is going to be to bleach the skull. And you're not gonna use bleach, you're gonna use peroxide, all right? And this is not typical 5% peroxide that you have in your kitchen cabinet. This is 40% peroxide, so it's a lot stronger. You can get this stuff at beauty stores, hair salons, stuff like that. This stuff is strong, so it will burn your hands. So make sure that you wear gloves during this step. So I recommend the cream version because this stuff is almost like, it's like jelly a little bit, it's a little thick. So the thing that's good about this is that it just stays on the skull. You don't have to do anything to hold it there. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and put a good layer on the skull. You wanna make sure not to hit the teeth or anything crazy. Just stay on all the parts that you want to be white, all right? And you basically just need to do this as many times as it takes until you get it as white as you like it.
One hour later.
All right, Alright guys, as you can see, it's a lot whiter. It still needs to dry some, but you guys get the point. Like I said, just keep repeating that process to get it whiter and whiter and whiter. Alright guys, I appreciate you watching the video. Hope you got something out of it. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and remember, life is short, live it outdoors.